The mid-size adventure bike category has grown with the all-new Triumph Tiger 800 XC. The Tiger is supposed to be the underdog against the big bikes, but someone forgot to tell that to Triumph. The smaller inline triple gives up nothing on the road and is also the lightest and most affordable, which makes the bike even more impressive.
We added this bike not as a heads-up comparison, but more just as a broader comparison to see how it fits into the adventure touring class. And I gotta say, it holds its own very well.
I was kind of surprised by the Triumph. I actually like the Triumph a lot more than the other guys, I think. You know, I'm not a real big guy. It's probably the lightest of the bunch. It's low to the ground. It's got a really spunky motor. I really like riding the Triumph.
Well, this thing is totally holding its own, and surpassing some of these big bikes. There's really no fault in the bike. The 800cc triple is way different than the rest of the twins, obviously. It revs forever. It's really fun when you can get it up in those revs, like in the twisty stuff, and shift it a lot and rip around.
The engine's got a lot of personality. It's that triple, it sets itself apart from these other bikes. It revs higher. It's just a different package, but I think it's a well-rounded package.
When you get on it, you really don't notice that it's lacking in power unless you go from like the Ducati to the Triumph. In the dirt, it's an amazing handler. It's probably the second best behind the KTM.
In the dirt, maybe it's not as good, but I was amazed with the smaller motor. It's got the 800 triple, and it's got an incredible bottom end for that type of motor. So it makes it really pretty easy to use in the dirt.
Handling on the bike is really fun. It's lighter than the rest of them, but it actually, I think it has something to do with the fact that it runs a 21-inch front wheel, and also I think it has something to do with the way that the motor is configured with that triple, but it kind of wants to stand up. You gotta kind of push it down into some corners, and once you get the hang of the bike, you don't really notice it. You're like, oh yeah, this is just flowing.
It's the least expensive of the machines, and it works well, and I think for the majority of people, that's probably the better bike.
All of our riders were pleasantly surprised with the Tiger. It provides perhaps the best on and off-road comfort and performance. Stacked head-to-head against bigger, more powerful, and more expensive machines, the Tiger is right in the mix.